Good morning. Welcome again to Morning Devotions, and thank you again so much for our time together. We're looking forward to seeing you in services tonight and all day tomorrow as we close out Paul's second world tour as Paul leaves Corinth, travels through Cenchrea, Ephesus, heads to Jerusalem in fulfillment of a vow and being there at Passover and offering his hair as a sacrifice. Now, there's an interesting thought to think about, and then goes back down to his home church at Antioch. It's going to be a fun study as we learn what kind of man the Apostle Paul was. But right now, I want to talk to you about two very quick thoughts: bad leadership and bad parenting. Bad leadership. Verse 12 of 2 Chronicles 21. Jerome received a letter from Elijah the prophet, which said, "This is what the Lord, the God of your father David, says. You have not walked in the ways of your father Jehoshaphat or of Asa, king of Judah, but you have walked in the ways of the kings of Israel, and you have led Judah and the people of Jerusalem to prostitute themselves." He said, listen, you've led the people down the wrong path. Now, I want to challenge every pastor. I want to challenge every Connect group leader. I want to challenge every assistant pastor, wherever you're listening to us. Would you please take a hard look at the path that you're leading people down? You cannot lead people down the wrong paths. We have to lead people down the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Too often, and I do a whole study on this, too often we start people down a path and we realize, this path isn't the right path, and we get off it. But we don't understand, once people are headed in a direction, it's very difficult to move them. My father tried to teach me carpentry once. He was not very successful. Mechanics, okay, but carpentry, no. He always said, measure twice, cut once. When you're making decisions about a path to lead people down, measure twice, cut once. Look at it hard. Where will this path eventually take them? In other words, think past your nose. Look out there into the future and say, all right, as we head down this path, this is what it's going to be like for God's people. So, bad leadership, bad parenting. 2 Chronicles 22, beginning with verse 2. Ahaziah was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 1 year. His mother's name was Athaliah, a granddaughter of Omri. He too walked in the ways of the house of Ahab, for his mother encouraged him in doing wrong. For his mother encouraged him in doing wrong. For his mother encouraged him in doing wrong. Now, parents, please, we have to challenge our children to live right. We can't encourage them to participate in sin. We can't encourage them to do things that are wrong because we think, well, it's their life, and we can't continue the patterns of failure in life. I do not believe in a generational curse, but I do believe in a family culture that gets passed on. And that's what's happening here with Athaliah. She's passing on her family sinful culture to her son and encouraged him in sin. So to leaders and to parents, let's be very careful what we pass on to the next generation. Let's point people to God in Jesus' name.